The cosmos operates as a vast architecture of silent precision. Galaxies turn with mathematical certainty. But down on the ground, the human experience is a loud, turbulent struggle for survival. This creates a friction with the ancient premise that the universe is a singular, undivided whole, a complete expression of one ultimate reality. If our base material is this singular piece, the state of our daily lives is a contradiction. We exist in a constant state of fragmentation and mental fatigue. If our underlying nature is truly eternal and untouched, we are left with a question: who is the one actually doing the suffering? We spend our lives in a relentless pursuit, running toward pleasure and success while desperately trying to outpace pain and loss. This chase produces a reliable cycle. A moment of satisfaction is followed immediately by the return of hunger. The goal moves, and we require a new achievement just to maintain a sense of balance. Over decades, this cycle etches itself into our physiology. The exhaustion we feel is the accumulated friction of a lifetime spent wanting and avoiding. This chronic burnout follows a basic error in identification. We have defined ourselves entirely by the actions we take and the results we consume. The scholars in ancient India turned to the natural world to find a resolution for this crisis of exhaustion. The Mundaka Upanishad records their findings through an allegory: two birds, bound in close friendship, perched on the branches of a single cosmic tree. As translated by Patrick Olivelle, the first bird is restlessly active, hopping from branch to branch and eating a tasty fig. The second bird sits on the exact same branch, but it does not eat. It simply looks on in silence. While this appears to be a poem about nature, it provides a technical framework for understanding the mechanics of human liberation. The 8th century philosopher Adi Shankaracharya treated this verse as a precise psychological schematic, identifying the function of each symbol. The tree represents the physical body and the dualistic world, the arena where all action and experience occur. The fruits are the results of our actions. They include both the sweet rewards of pleasure and the bitter consequences of our mistakes. The restless bird is the Jiva, the individualized ego. It is the part of us that is totally absorbed in the erratic pulse of doing, wanting, and reacting. The still bird is the silent witness. This is the consciousness that observes every event but consumes nothing. Suffering begins when the ego identifies entirely with its actions and their outcomes. It scrambles to find peace in the fruits of the world, unaware of any reality beyond the cycle of consumption. Beside it, the witness remains untouched. It is indifferent to the rising and falling results of action, maintaining its own inherent majesty. Suffering is a property of the ego. The true, observing self has never been affected by the events it witnesses. Eventually, the lower bird becomes exhausted by the dizzying maze of its efforts. It finds itself trapped by the very fruits it sought to enjoy. The ego stopped eating. It observes that no fruit here has ever provided lasting contentment. This exhaustion finally triggers an inward shift. The individual stops looking at the external world of action and looks toward the source of its being. It sees the calm presence of the witness, a light that has been sitting beside it through every joy and every sorrow. The resolution to suffering is found by recognizing the presence that does not need to consume anything to be complete. As the seeker observes the witness, the distinction between them begins to dissolve. The restless individual realizes that the peace it sees in the observer is actually its essential nature. This realization changes the nature of the self in an instant. It is a shift in identity that occurs the moment we stop looking at the reflection and recognize the light. The ego does not need to be destroyed. It fades away as we choose to identify with the observer instead of the consumer. The birds were never enemies. One lived while the other illuminated. Freedom is found when the sufferer recognizes the witness.